I know it's fresh, but things you liked, things you didn't like from tonight.
Oh, I loved our intensity. My girls played extremely hard for 40 minutes, and that's what I expected. The energy, the effort, the passion, the intensity. Those were expectations that I had, and they definitely fulfilled. And obviously, scoring a lot of points is extremely important to me, so that's definitely a goal.
Both Talea and Bonnie said the free throws are kind of eating them alive right now. How much was that just mentioned, I guess, after the game?
Quite a bit. And I think it was mentioned quite a bit during the game as well and at halftime. So, part of it is probably a little bit of jitters, but that's something that we're actually a really good free throw shooting team. And so that was a little bit disappointing, but I know that it matters to them because it bothers them. And that's definitely something that they'll be working on and fixing quickly.
Yeah, to come out and force 33 turnovers. I know you said earlier this week that you really wanted to see your team convert those into points. I think y'all had 36 points off the turnovers. Just what do you think of y'all's ability to kind of create your own baskets that way?
I think it's something that's extremely important. I always say, for every turnover that you force, you want to convert that into at least a point. So if you force 33, I expect at least 33 points, and we were able to do that. I love the fact that we actually really did a good job of playing help side and getting in the right positions. So as far as our team defense, I was extremely proud of that. That's something we have been hounding and really working on every single day in practice, probably to the point that they're like tired of working on it. But I'm extremely proud of the fact that it was able to convert to the court, and especially in a live game situation.
Yeah, just on a personal note, how did it feel to finally just get to have your team see the world like this?
Amazing. At some point, I know it's still early. It's October. There's still it's still a very long season. But to finally be able to, see the lights on in Bud with a bunch of fans here, and just to be able to play someone other than ourselves or our practice team, it was just a great feeling, because then it allows us to see where we're at, what we need to work on, and the things we need to continue to grow at.
Yeah, for all the talk about the offense kind of coming into the season, the defense I thought was the biggest kind of thing that stuck out tonight with obviously all the turnovers and limiting them to 25% shooting from the field. I guess just Talea had mentioned that the defense tonight looked better than it had previously. I guess just where did you see the most improvement from practice to this game today?
I think the biggest thing is it finally translated. There were moments in practice where it felt like it wasn't translating, like, maybe we just weren't, fully getting it. We weren't always in sync. And I thought tonight we were really in sync. Our chemistry was good. And just that energy and the effort, and they started to feed off of each other. And when you play position basketball and you get to the right spots, the defense usually takes care of itself. And I love the way we guarded the basketball, and we actually guarded it really hard. And that's one thing I was impressed with.
You started with a 4-guard lineup tonight. Is that something you're anticipating doing as you go into the season, or is it kind of matchup based? Where do you kind of stand with that?
I've usually always ran 4 guards. The lineup's always subject to change, but at the end of the day, I love the way we started. And just, they really did mesh, and they're starting to gel together, and I think that's important. The chemistry, the unity, and the players that really, kind of feed off of each other is important. So I do like my 4-guard lineup.
And then there's been, I think people are starting to take more note of how good of a level Division II basketball is with some of the results recently and other exhibitions. Is that something you emphasize with the team, just to look at what happened to Missouri or Arizona, just what happened there? Is that something you mentioned beforehand? And yeah.
Absolutely. It's definitely something you have to talk about. I was a D2 coach for a really long time, and I went in as a D2 and beat a D1 before. So that's definitely something that we addressed and we talked about, because it's a reality. They want to come in here, and especially an in-state team that wants to come in and disrupt and, upset someone. Absolutely. So, we really have been talking a lot about, protecting your home floor. This is our home court, and we want to protect it.
I think you mentioned in your pregame presser that you wanted to limit the turnovers on the offensive side. I guess given the flow of the game and the style of offense you play, I don't know if 19 is a good number. I don't know if that's a good way to put it, but is that kind of just something that comes with the territory?
A little bit. I thought we got a little lax, and we had a few unforced turnovers. Ideally 12. That's what I give them. So we were 7 over that. And so that's something we have to continue to fix. So we want to play at that high speed, but we also want to have control. There were a couple times where we got a steal and we turned it right back over, and that can't happen. We got to capitalize.
And I guess just maybe moving forward, and you've got Louisiana Tech here in a few days, like how do you kind of deal with, we talked about how good D2 is, but maybe the ramp up in competition that slowly happens throughout the non-conference schedule?
Well, it's going to happen fast, so we got to make sure that we're prepared. So we'll hit the film tomorrow. We'll be practicing immediately tomorrow and preparing, and that's what I told him. Once you get into season, it's you got to grind and prepare, and that's what it's all about. Basketball's a really long season when you play for 2 semesters, and we're starting in October now, so we have to be ready to grind. They have to be able to respond tomorrow and practice and bring it because it's preparation time. We got another huge game coming up on Tuesday.
Yeah, Coach, I saw the bench whenever the 100-point barrier was hit. Was that a goal kind of going into this one?
We want to average at least 85 points a game, but absolutely, when you have the opportunity to score, that's kind of what I've been known for, and that's something. If you check my track record, we can score a lot of points, and that's something we've talked about and we wanted to emphasize. And I think it's important that we be who we are and we do what we do no matter what, and that's important, especially as we lay this foundation in a new era of Razorback women's basketball, and it's a new season and a new time with a new team. Just setting those standards and expectations early is important to this program now and in the future.
And we saw her in street clothes, but is it too early to say why that will be available on Tuesday?
She won't be available on Tuesday, more than likely, but at the same time, she's recovering quickly, and so she'll be back really soon. I know that.
Your rebounding obviously is a big deal. You almost double up Fort Smith and rebound 61-34. I guess just how big of an emphasis was that for this game in particular, and how much have you liked what you've seen in practice on the rebounding end of things, and just what did you like for seeing there today?
I thought we rebounded harder. When we go against our male practice team, sometimes getting rebounds, it doesn't look as good. So really emphasizing that. We knew, especially some of their bigs were definitely really good at rebounding. And so we did emphasize that and talk about that, and really been focusing on the rebounding aspect, not only in practice, but focusing on it tonight in our game.
Did you feel like Talia and Emily, just two who have already been in your system before, maybe help settle the team down early with some of the scoring that they kind of got started?
Absolutely. I think that they've been a huge asset since the moment that they got on campus, just helping our newcomers and everyone, for that matter, understand the system, understand the offense, understand our expectations, and understand me as a coach, and helping communicate that. I think they've been really good leaders, and they've been really good teammates, and I think that was displayed today. But helping them just stay calm, that you got to weather the storm no matter what. If we came out, we missed some easy buckets, and we allowed them to score a few points early, and just helping them, like you said, settle down and do what we do. And I think that's extremely important for not just now, but for our future as well.
And then Harmony, just how do you think she did in her first game as a Razorback?
I thought she did great. I was extremely proud of the fact that she really settled in a little bit earlier than I expected. She guards well, but I thought she really did a good job taking care of the basketball, and she can really score. And she did a really good job of listening. So she was really coachable tonight, and anytime I told her what to do or told her my expectations, she was able to fulfill that. She's such a bright future.